Hello and welcome to another flight school video. Today we're going to take a look at the modified Guardian weapons, aka the only alternatives to Gauss cannons. We'll be testing them with basic ammo and I'll be sharing my own thoughts and comments on are they worth it or not. Before we begin though, I felt the necessity to state this due to a comment on one of the videos about the premium ammo. None of my videos are recorded with premium ammo except the Courier Gauss cannon build, and I specified this in the video's description. If the premium ammo was used, it will surely be stated in the description, title, or the video itself depending on the specific case, and premium ammo's effects are so distinguishable you can tell it yourself while watching the video on how quickly the hearts are exerted and taken. Now that's out of the way, let's begin with the shot cannons. Here's the stats. Everything except the mass and armor piercing are massive improvements compared to their original counterparts. Although the armor piercing value seems a bit disheartening at a first glance, the incredible damage output cancels this shortcoming and the weapons perform well. Extra ammo means less reloads, but it also means more heatsink since there are specific builds for this weapon such as Charlie or Gunship, but we will be testing it in a Crate Mark II because I want to see how the weapons perform when both the weapons and the pilot are out of their comfort zones. So let's begin. Due to the weapon's capability of killing your close instantly, I will skip the weaker ones and test them and do so. The weapon has its own rhythm, thus the heatsink usage is specific to it. Heatsink is launched after firing your first shot, which keeps it more efficient. The trick here is to keep one pair of cannons loaded at all times so that you never stop firing. I cannot perfectly achieve this because it's my first real try with these, and also I'm spending extra effort to maintain a good range and firing position. But, contrary to all the shit Crate receives about being a brick, Ship held it together decently enough. Notice how I lose my optimal position due to the maneuver zone pilling to stay out of line of fire. This forces the reticule to go down and I am forced to maneuver up to keep the aim on target. Thus, the weapon limits your maneuvers during an attack round due to the necessity of staying on target. I must stress that these weapons aren't bad. Extra ammo is always appreciated, damage output is great, the pellet conversions on target is decent enough, but they require to make some changes to your flying style to be able to use them effectively. Verdict? I won't trade them to my Gauss cannons. Next up, the plasma charges. Damage and armor piercing looks promising. When I full charge multiplier, they deliver incredible amounts of damage, but damage fall off distance looks disappointing. On the other hand though, you'll have ammo for days. Could this fix the #1 problem for the Gauss cannons? Yes and no. So, Let's see how. Number one problem is the charge time. It takes way too long. In order to mitigate this, you must either start charging the next plasma chargers while the current ones are at 75% or so, or use them like gas cannons and charge less and fire more often, at the cost of dealing less damage. First one is an awkward affair for someone coming from the Gauss cannons, whereas the latter feels way better, so I went with the second option. I had the idea of charging all of them at once, but this resulted in destroy getting drained too quickly, despite being a 7-8 grade 5 engineered one, so I had to cycle them. Number 2 problem is the residual cloud from the plasma projectiles, which makes it almost impossible to see for your teammates and yourself alike. At a prolonged attack run, these things will blind anyone and everyone. And number 3, the immense broken washing machine sound effect. Have a listen. Verdict. I ended up spending more heat sinks than I usually do for first Hydro Heart, which shouldn't be normal for a weapon with such damage potential. Was it a perfect attack run? It wasn't, but it wasn't a bad one as well, considering the fact that I managed to maintain a good distance overall. Due to their ammo capacity and one-shotting scouts, they make an excellent choice for conflict zones and multi-guard fights, given that you have some backup to snipe Hydro Hearts, or willing to work harder for them if you're planning on going in solo. But in general, I realize that I'm using more heat sinks than I would have with the gas cannons, so this means heatsink synths. Anything that forces me to synth is a no-no. Combining the fire rate with the awkward aiming mechanics due to projectile travel speed, and adding the plasma clouds as well as that abysmal noise. This is a bit too much for some extra ammo. We also have the modified gas cannons, aka the hammer gauss, but due to the optimal distance decrease and no damage buff, longer firing cycles resulting in more heatsink consumption, more time on target requirements, plus the fact that they get broken so easily, and when they misfire they create an awkward cycling experience. These things are an absolute waste of time and mats. So now comes my personal choice. Among all of the modified Guardian weapons, I would definitely go with the shard cannons for the reasons we already talked about, plus a bonus, premium ammo is dirt cheap. But then again, I wouldn't trade any of these weapons to my Gauss cannons unless I absolutely have to. So then, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope that it was helpful in your weapon selection. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you out in the front.